This is my like hard ledger. You can see it says their digital world of crypto. It was a wild ride. Yeah, long story short, did I think it was worth it? Hey there, my handsome and pretty little cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's nest. So today's video is going to be the most expensive things that I've ever bought, and do I think that they're worth it or not? You can leave your comments down below. Let me know, like, yeah, you agree with that? Is that a good use of money? Or do you think, wow, geez, no, that's totally a waste and like I could never. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's get it. Let's go. Woo. The first thing, yeah, is my education. I went to medical school for my longtime subbies. You guys know that. Yeah, that cost me about 70K. I did pay it off in one shot because I did work while I was in school. So when the time came to pay off the loans, like I just paid them off. I didn't pay any interest, you know, thank God. That was pretty much the whole point of my extreme minimalism, was like have those loans paid off in full. I definitely could have, you know, maybe paid some interest while buying stocks, but I really didn't feel comfortable doing that. But so yeah, do I think that it's worth it? Given that like I'm not a dentist, so I am technically what's considered like an empty dentist. I have my papers, I did graduate, I just never took like the bar. I'll be honest, yeah. On a real note, like at least I can read my own like dental x-rays. I really do think that education is something that like no one can take away from you. It like exists in your head, and I think that that's really valuable. Not everyone ends up using their degree in the end. I didn't end up using mine, but that doesn't make me any less grateful. Like I remember there was a time I almost didn't make it to med school. I actually became a teacher first, and then I used those grades to go to med school. So there was a period of time where I felt like that door had closed on me, and I was like, I will not be able to go to med school. And that made me really sad because that's something that I wanted to experience. So in itself was a wonderful experience. I felt very proud and I felt very happy with my accomplishment. It was wonderful being able to study medicine, learn about dentistry. So in that sense, I think it is money well spent. Honestly, you can always make more money again, but you can't have those experiences again. I was like in my early 20s in med school, and honestly, those were great times, and I'm really, really happy. So did I think it was worth it? Yes. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little cobras. So time for today's sponsored piece. So I want to give a big thank you to Unahub's for partnering with me for today's segment. They have kindly gifted me a bag to review on my channel. So yeah, let's get right into the unboxing. I totally know if these are not your vibe, no worries, you can just hit next, or I will see you in the next video. So yeah, let's get to the unboxing. I'm super excited to open this. They have a little Latte World duty free, comes in a bag all sealed, and it has like some little pretty cards if you want to put those on display. Super excited because I've been loving the mini Kelly shapes. They're so good for just like running errands. This one is in lambskin. Oh, and it has all the little detailings. Let's go ahead and take those off. Take off the protectant seals. The mini Kellys are so great for running around the city. They're just like a good size. The chain length, you can double it up on the inside. You just put your phone, some lip gloss, some keys, and like that's really all you need to just like run around in the city. Comes with the tags and everything. Wow, this is like beautifully wrapped. This is really nice. I'll show you guys the inside. That is what it looks like. Wow, it's like so soft and plush. You can see like the lambskin shine. It's so soft and plush. Ah, and there she is with all of the detailing taken off, and she looks so stunning. I'm definitely gonna put twillies on the handles because I actually like the look of twillies. I also like protecting the leather, because I am rough with my bags. I like just using them and enjoying them. And if you're wondering about the strap, these straps are on the longer side. So for the Kelly, you can just like layer it over like that. And then the length is good to go. And then you just go and close it. Let me show you guys what that looks like. I want to say a big thank you to my little Cobra babies. None of this would be possible without your continued support. I also want to say a big thank you to Unahub for partnering with me for this segment. All of their details are listed down below in the descriptor box. And yeah, let's continue on with today's regularly scheduled program. Okay, going on to the next one. So crypto. I want to say like 2021, I got into crypto. I didn't document a lot of it because I wasn't sure. Honestly, I wasn't really sure how that would go on my channel. I didn't know if I was going to embarrass myself. I didn't know how things were going to go. So I thought, like, I did document some of it and it is on my computer, but I don't think I'll ever publish it. But yeah, for crypto, I spent around $2,000 to like play with or invest in, and I did not have a really good time with crypto. That was called crypto winter, and the volatility was insane. It was really stressful, not to mention really technical for anyone who does do crypto. This was the beginning of all of those type of crypto companies, so you could like, there's layers to this, and I went really dark web with it. Like, you can do it like on a crypto exchange market now, but when I started, that stuff was like fresh, that was new. You had to use like third partiers to like be able to get onto the platform, and then from the platform you could use like DeFi's, and then you could buy coins and you can exchange these on deeper markets, because the whole point at the time, the whole narrative at the time was like, the government can't see your money. But like, on the flip side, nobody knows what's happening in the dark web, and I would go through all these DeFi's, exchanging coin after coin, getting deeper and deeper. I went as far as like, and I'm sure you could probably go further, to like wild places where there were rug pulls. And I did Time Wonderland, and like I held like diamond hands these coins. Essentially, like I held onto these coins for about 2 years, and I think I profited about $300,000. But then after gas fees and exchanging out of the DeFi's and getting back to the main platforms that most people usually buy and sell on these platforms, the gas fees ate everything. I literally broke even, thank God. But like, did I really need 2 years of like mental anguish and stress? I do not. Like, I still have my crypto book. Let me show you guys. This is my like hard ledger. You can see it says their digital world of crypto. It was a wild ride. Yeah, long story short, did I think it was worth it? I know a lot of people have definitely made money on crypto. I've also seen horrific stories of people losing money on crypto. I remember at the time I was watching some of these videos when people were like speculating if the coin that like I was in, like that coin, like if Time Wonderland, that was gonna get rug pulled. I saw this one guy, he was like, he had placed his house up to like buy coins, and like the coins went under and he had to sell his house. And yeah, so yeah, it's not for me. I'm sure it, like, if you're into crypto, fantastic. I love that for you, especially if you are on more regulated platforms where you can just buy and sell the most golden standard of like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like, I love that and I respect that, but my experience really put me off of it, and the experience was like, yeah, it's just not for me. Okay, so the next most expensive thing, I guess my luxury bag probably comes in at a similar price. My one and only like true designer bag. Like, I have Coach bags, and I do consider Coach, regardless of popular opinion, mid-tier. Like, I do consider it a mid-tier luxury because it's not essential. Nobody needs a Coach purse. Like, you can carry around a canvas bag, and maybe that is very middle class of me to say that, but I still personally consider Coach luxury, regardless of popular opinion. That being said, I have the YSL Gabby, and that one is more of like the higher tier luxury. It retails for 3,000 Canadian, but I got it for, after the VAT and flying to Paris to get it, I spent around 2,100. It has appreciated in value since then, but that's neither here nor there. What do I think about my Gabby or my luxury bag, or even my Coach bags for that matter? I guess the whole like luxury bag as a topic. Do I think that they're worth it? Like, as somebody who is like an absolute bag lover, and like I still love bags, especially now that I get sent replicas because of my YouTube channel, I kind of sort of feel like I don't really think luxury bags are worth it. They're not really an investment. Like, my investment portfolio and my brokerage account have had excellent returns. That is just kind of like, my bag sits on like my IKEA shelf and just like collects dust. So I do still think bags are beautiful, and I still think they're an indulgence and a luxury, but I really don't view them as an investment. I really do see them as something fun, something to enjoy. I would never buy something as expensive as my Gabby ever again. Like, I would never, like, I have so many other bags now in my rotation that, like, not to mention, I have a very like non-luxurious lifestyle. And for the most part, like, I just go to the mall and like have a good time, and I go to Starbucks. So like, sometimes these bags are a little bit dressy, a little bit more dressier than I would like. I still am a dressy person. I still do like dressing nice to the mall. I know that's like not popular. I know a lot of people like to rock a sweat. I like dressing nice, and so I still wear my luxury bags to the mall. I know it's definitely overkill, but like on the whole, I just don't really see the point in buying more of them. Like I have one, I had the experience. It wasn't like super life changing. Like I love my bag and like I'm really happy with it. I love my Gabby, but do I think it was worth it? I think it's a one and done kind of thing. Like if you've never experienced having a luxury bag, I think it's great to have the experience. But I think once you have like one or two or three, you kind of start to get, it's kind of like looking behind the curtain and realizing like, oh no, the illusion is gone. And I'm so grateful for the bag, and like I love the bag, and she's like right up there. She's like sitting right up here on the top shelf because she is the crown jewel. But I'm like, if I was recommending to somebody else, I'd be like, I really like it, but I actually think there's like a way better use of your money. I've actually find myself more gravitating towards my Coach purses. I actually really like the durability, the ruggedness of the canvas of Coach, that like sometimes I don't really want to baby my leather bags. I think have your one and done, but I think beyond that, I don't think beyond that it's worth it. The one is worth it, but beyond that, the second and the third is just kind of like overkill. Okay, so the next one is flying different classes. Yeah, I have flown a couple different classes in the past couple years. Just because of the nature of my job with running a business. You do get certain perks and things like that, and I'm not going to get too much into it, especially because I think the majority of my audience, I don't think you guys, I don't think, not that my analytics can show me that, but I just don't really think most people are entrepreneurs. I think most of us are 9-to-5ers, and I have been a 9-to-5er, so I totally understand like the tax whatnot is different with the business. So I won't get too much into the why I fly so many different type of classes, but anyway, I have. And yeah, let's start from the lowest tier to the highest tier and kind of give you guys my own personal take and opinion on them, because I think sometimes personal experience is really valuable instead of talking about like what other people do. It's like I want to share my take, and you may agree, you may disagree, especially if you've flown these classes. I kind of want to hear you guys' opinion and let me know if you guys also think it's worth the money or not worth the money. So let's start talking about economy. So just regular stock economy. I think they're great for short flights. When I fly to Miami, which is only about 3 hours away from Toronto, I always fly economy. I just kind of see it as like a long bus ride. I don't need all the amenities. I don't need all the bells and whistles. I just need to get myself from point A to point B. Like I give myself that pillow, the airplane pillow, and I just chill. I read a book, I watch a movie, and like I've arrived. Yeah, I think that they're great. But some of the cons of economy is obviously the service. There's a world of difference between the way like the flight attendants treat you in the different classes. And this is obviously not to be elitist or anything like that. In case you're new to my channel, I just wanted to say like I didn't grow up with money. Even flying on a plane, like just like full stop period, flying on a plane was considered a luxury. So I'm not trying to be elitist. I'm not trying to be rude or braggy with any things that I'm saying. I'm just saying in comparison to other like flying classes, I've noticed like once you've experienced the other classes, something that I noticed in economy that kind of struck me when I returned to economy was that like the flight attendants, they just straight up ignore you. You find yourself begging that they look your way. So you can like put your hand up and be like, miss, could I have some water? And they like straight up ignore you, pretend to see you, or like they'll look at you and ignore you and like look away, pretend not to see you. Not to mention the amount of scolding you get in economy is like insane. Like they would never scold you in the other classes. They have no problem scolding you like crazy in economy, which is like crazy because I used to think that that was normal. And I really don't blame the flight attendants. Will's sister's a flight attendant, so I totally get it. Hearing from her side of the things, like the work, people put things in the wrong place, luggages are spewed everywhere, people are not listening to instructions, they're not putting on their seatbelt. Like I totally get it. So they're like super frustrated, you know, manning the whole plane. So by the time they get to you in economy, they're kind of like, put your seatbelt on, ma'am, sir, that doesn't go there. So I just think like that's pretty interesting. That's one of the cons of economy, is just the sheer amount of scolding. Do I think it's worth it? Yes, I think it's worth it for a short flight. If you can save and you don't care about amenities and whatnot, economy does the trick. It literally takes you from point A to point B, and it's just like, it's budget friendly. Okay, so the next one is premium economy. So I think premium economy is really good for longer flights. It's really good. It's like a sweet spot between kind of like, if you're going for a long flights on the whole are more expensive, and so sometimes like raw dogging it in economy is not fun. But one of the benefits I have found of premium economy is that it's really nice for long flights, and you do get a little bit more of the little zhuzh, you do get a little bit more amenities, the service is slightly better. So sometimes Will and I will fly to Taiwan premium economy, just because like I've just gotten to a place where like I just think like regular economy, just because the seats are so small, and like I fly with Will, and Will is, you know, obviously taller than me, so the two of us, I already find them uncomfortable. I can only imagine how a taller man feels in an economy seat for like 14 hours. It's pretty brutal. I try to like move and shift, and he just like sits there still for like 14 hours, just like, and I'm just like, yeah. So I think premium economy is the nice sweet spot between like paying a little bit more and getting a little bit more comfort that sometimes like I think economy doesn't really offer. So I do think it's worth it in that sense. So yeah, so let's talk about business class. And there are distinctions, and different airlines do bleed the names together, like business, first class, signature, first class, premium business. Like there's all types of names. So I'm gonna go with like the name of business in the sense that it's like not the type that like reclines back, like it doesn't turn into a bed. It's just like the very like big luxurious type of chair. Although I do know that some first classes, it is just like a luxurious chair and doesn't sit back depending on the duration of the flight. So I know there's nuances to this. So let's just go for the sake of like business class in the sense that it's cheaper than first class and it doesn't recline back. So I think that business class is really good for something that is like 5 hours plus, like if it's a very like, it's like a long flight but not too long. And also if like you are doing business and you need to arrive fresh, you need to arrive rested, I think business is good. Business is definitely quite the pretty penny, and I do think that business is a better bang for the buck when you use and buy it with points. Like if you've accumulated points on your like flyers points or your credit card, I think that that's a great use of how to get that. Another way is like doing the like Russian roulette or the bidding system. That way you can snag a better seat for like a less price. Like there's all type tips and tricks on how to do that, but let's just talk about the class itself. Do I think it's worth it? I think because there is a slight premium in that as compared to like premium economy, you have to really consider like what are you using the ticket for? Like do you need to arrive rested? Is it a longer flight? So for me personally, if I need to arrive rested, then I think business is worth it. Or if the flight is on the longer side, like I think like 5-6 hours, then I think it's kind of like worth it. It's not quite as long. And it's funny because since it's a shorter flight, it's a less expensive ticket. So you can kind of put it towards having a more comfortable trip versus a very long flight is more expensive. So yeah, so for business in that sense, I think it's good. Where if it's like, it's not going to be a long flight, it's not super expensive, maybe you could allocate the resources to like flying business. Not to mention, I think the flight attendants are really nice in business. I actually, and say this now before I get into first class, I think the flight attendants are nicest in business class. I don't know if it's like the stigma, but I think that flight attendants maybe feel like, oh, this is business class, maybe your company's paying for this ticket, you're still on the clock. A lot of people in business class, because there are different behaviors in different classes. In the business class, a lot of people are on their laptop, they've plugged in or paid for the Wi-Fi, they're on the computer, like, because I can see like the seat over. A lot of them are still like on Messenger, they're on Hotmail or Gmail, they're still like messaging, like they're still at work, they have spreadsheets open. A lot of them are on their computers, like literally doing work. So I think that like, I feel like the flight attendants kind of feel like we're both at work. There's like a sense of camaraderie, sort of. I have gotten the best service in business class. It's like, ma'am, would you like something else to drink? Like, let me top that off for you. Like, I just get so much better service in business class. I have gotten abysmal service in first class. So now let us talk about first class. So first class in the sense of like the traditional sense of like the chair can like turn into a bed. It has like the duvet thing, it has all the amenities, the large screen, the like the divider and all that good stuff. So I think that first class is really nice if you are like, this is something special. So for Will and I, we flew first class for our honeymoon on our Paris trip, and I think that yeah, we used points for that as well. And it's just one of those things where you really are paying a premium. I even talked to like ChatGPT. I was like, how much more expensive is this ticket than economy? Business is twice the price of economy, but first class is 6 times the price of an economy ticket. So you definitely are paying a really big premium if you are flying first class. And so I think the question is, do you think it's worth it? I think for like first class, do I think it's worth it? I mean, what does worth it mean? I mean, is it like a great experience? Oh yeah, for sure. It's phenomenal. It is a really good experience. So worth it to you and me might be different. Do I think it's worth it? I think it's just one of those things where like, I was like, I don't want to always fly first class. I don't want to develop a taste for first class and feel like that's like my baseline. I personally think that'd be a tragedy. So for me personally, I actually much prefer like roughing it out a little bit in like premium economy. And if I want a treat, then I feel like business class is like right up my alley. It also kind of fits with my lifestyle. Somebody who does like, you know, self-employed, runs a business. I much prefer that. I feel like that kind of matches. I feel like sometimes, I'll be honest, when I fly first class, I feel odd, especially because a lot of people who fly first class are definitely of, and I know social media would have you believe it's the opposite. It's like all these like young hot people in first class. I find that has not been my experience. I think a lot of people who are in first class are of an older demographic. yeah, I think maybe one of the other reasons that I got treated like oddly is maybe because like, what is she doing there? That's just my own personal opinion. Everyone in first class usually has like white hair. That's just been my personal experience. Comment down below if that has not been the case for you. But yeah, I think that it's just a premium that I feel like is better when you're older. When you're older, I don't really think, and especially I don't want to be flying uncomfortable when I'm older. So I totally get that a lot of people who are flying like first class are of the older generation. And another interesting thing that I noted was that like was kind of a difference in behavior in first class and business class. In business class, a lot of people are on their laptops doing work, versus like first class, people were like reading books, watching movies, or reading newspapers. There's definitely a lot more leisure. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Versus like economy, I realized, or I've watched, that almost everyone either like sleeps or watches a movie. So just something that I noticed and I thought I'd share. Comment down below something that you've like, if you've noticed that as well too. So yeah, so do I think first class is worth it? I think there is definitely a premium to consider. So it really depends where you are financially in your journey. I think use points if possible. Take into consideration the flight attendants are actually, or could be, very mean in this class. So if the whole point of leaving economy was to not get kicked around by the flight attendants, it'd be very odd to pay a premium to get kicked around some more by the flight attendants in first class. So yeah, so then let's go on to the very last category. So yeah, that would be stocks. Stocks take money to buy. So yeah, I think since my money videos are definitely a mixed batch, sometimes they perform well, sometimes they do not, and sometimes I get the impression that like I do really want to be helpful with these videos, but at the same time, I'm always like wary that like I lose a lot of subscribers when I talk about money, that maybe this is just not something people want to hear. And although I think that talking about money could be helpful, and I feel like transparency would be key, maybe people don't really want to hear that, and that's okay, and I totally respect that. So I will not disclose numbers. But yeah, in terms of like my investment portfolio and buying individual stocks, I can talk about specific and small ones instead, and I think that that's fine, especially because these prices, you could literally look on like the stock market, just check the date and the price, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. So yeah, some things that have been worth it, individual stocks versus like just buying ETFs, because those have been the only two things that I have bought. I do think that ETFs are definitely worth it more, because it's definitely a lot more like lowered risk, mitigated risk, versus individual stocks. Like you really are, to a certain extent, kind of gambling. You don't have control over how the price goes. So it's a yes and no. I do think individual stocks was a fun experience. I don't really buy individual stocks anymore, but yeah, let's talk about some that I did buy. So I bought Amazon at $80 a pop, and that performed very well. I mean, it could have gone the other way. I bought Starbucks at 25, and I sold off at 125, and LVMH I still have it, and it's lost money. So it's just so hard to say with like individual stocks how it will perform. So because of these experiences, I've just kind of realized that it's just like a lot more money efficient to just buy ETFs. So I'm definitely like very ETF heavy. Yeah, do I think that stocks have been worth it? I feel like yes. Out of all the things I've like spent money on, I think that these have performed the best out of everything that I've spent money on. So I think in that sense, there really is some truth to this whole idea that like invest while you're young. It's better to have like time in the market than like timing the market. So in that sense, yeah, I would definitely recommend to like younger Nat, like if Nat was watching this, I'd be like, out of all the things that you've spent money on, keep spending on investments, keep buying stocks, ETFs, keep investing in your portfolio, in your brokerage account, because it will perform better and have a better return than all the other things that you've spent money on. So yeah, I hope that you guys could have enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun. Comment down below if you agree with any of these. I would love to hear it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.